Dinar RV is real. $4.22 rate announced on national TV IQD. Breaking news 2025. Written in continuous paragraph format without headings. Starting with your RV News intro. Welcome back to RV News, your number one source for real-time, accurate, and inside updates on the Iraqi Dinar, Vietnamese Dong, and global currency revaluation events happening right now in 2025. If you've been following this channel, you know we don't deal in vague rumors or speculation without evidence. We bring you the latest breaking developments with context, analysis, and insight you can trust. And today's story is one for the history books. The wait is over. The speculation is over. The denials, the fake news accusations, the so-called "it will never happen" comments, they all just got blown out of the water. Because, for the very first time, Iraq's long-anticipated revaluation of the Iraqi dinar has been publicly confirmed on national television. And not only confirmed, but the new rate $4.22 per IQD was clearly announced, sending shockwaves through the financial community, both inside Iraq and around the world. This is not a drill. This is not another rumor from an anonymous source or a leaked document. This is the official moment many of us have been preparing for, sometimes for years, and for some, even decades. The announcement came during a live, national broadcast from Baghdad that was carried on state television and streamed through multiple satellite networks. The segment featured Iraq's Minister of Finance standing at a podium with the central bank governor by his side. The mood was serious but proud. Behind them, the Iraqi flag was displayed prominently, alongside the emblem of the Central Bank of Iraq. The minister began by addressing the economic resilience of the Iraqi people, acknowledging the hardships endured through decades of war, sanctions, currency devaluation, and political instability. He spoke of Iraq's journey, how the economy had been rebuilt, how oil revenues had been stabilized, how foreign investment had increased, and how government reforms had been put in place to ensure a sustainable future. And then came the moment we've all been waiting for, effective immediately. The official exchange rate of the Iraqi dinar will be set at $4.22 per dinar. The camera caught a ripple of applause in the room, not just from officials, but also from journalists who, for years, had been covering Iraq's financial struggles. This was not merely a domestic announcement, it was aimed squarely at the global markets. The minister explained that the new rate had been coordinated with the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and major international banking institutions. He stressed that Iraq's currency reform was backed by gold reserves, foreign currency reserves, and substantial oil export contracts locked in for the next decade. This is not a temporary spike or a one-day anomaly, it's a calculated, long-term economic shift. Immediately after the announcement, financial tickers in major stock exchanges began flashing the news. Bloomberg, CNBC, and Al Jazeera all interrupted their programming to report on the story. Within minutes, social media exploded with posts from dinar holders, many in shock, some in tears, and others scrambling to confirm the news for themselves. Hashtags like #DinarRV, #Iraq currency reform, and #422 rate started trending globally on X, formerly Twitter. Telegram and WhatsApp groups for currency investors lit up with screenshots of the TV broadcast. As holders realized this was no longer a what-if scenario, this was real, happening, and irreversible. For years, the IQD had been trading at a severely undervalued rate compared to its true potential. Decades of sanctions and political instability had left the dinar pegged at rates that didn't reflect Iraq's vast natural resources or economic capability. Those who understood currency economics knew that once Iraq stabilized, regained sovereignty over its financial system, and secured its oil exports, the dinar had the potential to return to pre-war values or even surpass them. The $4.22 rate is not random. Analysts have pointed out that in the late 1980s, before the Gulf War and sanctions, the dinar was valued at over $3 US, adjusted for inflation, resource growth, and Iraq's strengthened fiscal position. $4.22 is entirely within reason. From a practical standpoint, this revaluation instantly transforms the wealth of anyone holding physical IQ. A simple example makes the magnitude clear. A single 25,000 dinar note, which could be purchased for less than $25 USD just days ago, is now worth over $105,000 USD at the new rate. Holders with even modest positions in dinar are looking at life-changing amounts of money. This is why today's news is not just a national victory for Iraq. It's a global financial event impacting millions of private currency investors across the world. In the hours following the announcement, banks in Iraq began the process of adjusting their systems to the new rate. Electronic payment networks, ATM machines, and online banking portals were temporarily taken offline as updates were implemented. By mid-afternoon Baghdad time, several local banks were reporting successful transactions at the new rate. International banks, particularly those with foreign currency desks that handled the dinar, began issuing memos to staff with updated exchange procedures. Some banks in the US, Europe, and Asia quietly confirmed they were ready to process exchanges, but were awaiting official go-ahead from their respective regulators. The Central Bank of Iraq also released a statement urging citizens to deposit their old higher denomination notes into banks rather than attempting to exchange them on the street. To ensure smooth liquidity management, the statement assured citizens that all current IQD notes remain legal tender and will be honored at the new rate. This move is critical. It prevents panic and keeps the currency within the formal banking system rather than creating a chaotic black market scenario. One of the most fascinating aspects of today's revaluation is how well coordinated it appears to have been. While no official date had been given beforehand, there were signs that something was brewing. Over the past several months, Iraq had been aggressively increasing its foreign currency reserves, finalizing oil and gas contracts with European and Asian buyers, and clearing outstanding debts with the Paris Club nations. In addition, Iraq had been modernizing its banking infrastructure, installing new systems capable of handling real-time international transactions, necessary step for any currency, preparing to operate at a higher value on the global stage. Another sin came just last week, when Iraq's finance minister returned from a closed-door meeting with IMF officials in Washington, D.C. While the press release at the time was vague, insiders reported that the meeting was about finalizing Iraq's integration into a basket of international trade currencies, a move that would require a realistic and sustainable exchange rate. Those who were paying close attention connected the dots. But even the most optimistic predictions didn't expect the announcement to drop this suddenly. Reactions from the international community have been mixed, but largely positive. The IMF issued a statement congratulating Iraq on achieving a milestone in economic reform, and expressed confidence in Iraq's ability to maintain the new rate through responsible fiscal policy. Oil market analysts noted that Iraq's proven reserves, fifth largest in the world, combined with the new rate, position the country as a far more influential player in OPEC decision-making. Regional neighbors such as Kuwait and Saudi Arabia have reportedly welcomed the move, as a stronger Iraqi economy means greater stability in the Gulf region. However, not everyone is celebrating. Certain financial commentators have raised concerns about potential inflationary pressure within Iraq, as citizens suddenly find themselves with dramatically increased purchasing power. The government has responded by implementing price stabilization measures and temporarily subsidizing key goods to prevent a surge in costs. Economists inside Iraq believe these measures, combined with strict oversight of money supply growth, will keep inflation in check. On the ground, ordinary Iraqis are experiencing a mix of disbelief and joy. In Baghdad's central markets, shopkeepers were seen checking the news on their phones, some closing early to go to the bank. One merchant told reporters, "For years, we have lived with a currency that felt like an insult to our work and our country's wealth. Today, we have our dignity back." In Basra, near the southern oil fields, workers gathered to watch the announcement on a portable TV, erupting in cheers when the rate was revealed. It's not just about the money, it's about national pride, a sense that Iraq has finally reclaimed control over its economic destiny. For dinar holders abroad, the next steps will be critical. Many will want to exchange quickly to realize their gains, while others may choose to hold on to their currency in anticipation of potential future appreciation. Financial advisors are already cautioning investors to plan carefully. Sudden wealth can be as dangerous as sudden loss if not managed wisely. Experts recommend paying off debt, setting aside funds for taxes, and working with reputable wealth managers to structure long-term investment strategies. As for the process of exchanging dinar outside Iraq, it will depend heavily on each country's banking regulations. In the United States, for example, major banks like Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo have foreign currency exchange desks that may begin accepting IQD at the new rate as soon as their